Hey, what's up, everybody? Andrew from Fantasy 8 here, and I'm going to give you 5 prospects that you should be watching in spring training that might become fantasy relevant. Now, let me make it clear, these are not guys you need to be drafting right now. Rather, these are just guys that you need to monitor their situation, and, they might become draftable and fantasy relevant down the line. First guy is the Phillies starting pitch prospect Ben Lively. He was recently added to the 40-man roster, and last year he split time between Double and Triple A, where he had a 2.96 ERA with 139 Ks in 170 innings and a .938 WHIP. Obviously, the Ks are pretty low, but he still has decent upside. There hasn't been any noise so far that he'd be competing for a rotation spot, but I think he's still got to monitor. I kind of think of him as another Aaron Nola. Nola didn't have the Ks in the minor leagues, but showed a decent K potential once he reached there before all the tired and injury he suffered last year. And the Ks might or might not come for Lively, but he's got good control and a great whip, so he could be a guy to monitor. At number 2, we have Ryan McMahon, the first base, third base prospect for the Colorado Rockies. And 2 years ago, McMahon was a big name in dynasty leagues where he hit 300 with 18 homers. But he had a really terrible 2016, which delayed his calling up. He did bat over 300 the last month, but that's not enough to save the terrible season he had. But it's no secret that the Rockies need a first baseman. Obviously, Penn Paulson is not the answer. Carlos Gonzalez's name has been thrown around for first base, but McMahon's still a guy to watch. If he can have a good spring training, he might force the issue. Obviously, there'd have to be a trade involved. Cargo would have to go, or whatever first baseman they plan on using. But I think McMahon is definitely a worthwhile watch this spring training. At number 3, we have J.P. Crawford, who, like Ryan McMahon, had a terrible season last year. He doesn't have the upside in McMahon, obviously, and he only batted .250, .349, .339 slash line last year, which is pretty ugly. And with shortstop being so top heavy, Crawford is a lot less attractive than he was a couple years ago when he was a big prospect, even though he still is now. But obviously, it's no secret that Freddie Galvis is not in the long-term plans for the Phillies, and if he can make a strong case, he could force the issue, nab a starting job, and be relevant in deeper leagues. Not 12-team teams, but deeper leagues. At number 4, we have Clint Frazier. He was involved in the Andrew Miller deal. He was sent to the Yankees. He didn't have a great 2016 minor league season, but he didn't have a bad one. He had 16 home runs with a .276 average. He has a bit of a strikeout problem. He struck out 23%, a little bit over 23% of the time in 522 at-bats, which isn't absolutely awful, but you'd like to see him bring it down a little bit. And the big point is the Yankees aren't doing a standard rebuild. They want to compete now, and if Frazier can show them he can help with them in spring training, he might have an outside shot at reaching the big leagues. He's got decent upside, definitely a guy to monitor. And then number 5, we have Raimel Tapia. Tapia was going to be one of my favorite sleepers going into this offseason, but the Ian Desmond signing killed any sleeper value he would have had, as the Rockies just don't have room anymore for him. But he had an outstanding 2016 minor league season. He hit .328. He had 10 homers, 23 steals. Obviously, playing half his games in Coors Field would be a plus. But it's not just that he has to do well in spring training, but there's going to have to be a trade if he's going to make that roster, because they've got Cargo, they've got David Dahl, Ian Desmond, Charlie Blackmon, Geraldo Parra. They just don't have room for him on the roster. So it'll be interesting to monitor the Rockies, see how they handle him, see if they get any trades going. Definitely if they trade from their outfield glut, he will look a lot more appealing. So those are 5 prospects that you need to watch this spring training. For Fantasy Aid, I'm Andrew, and thanks for watching.